Welcome to Founders Future, a podcast powered by Closers.io, where we dive into the journeys of innovative entrepreneurs and explore the road ahead of them and their companies. I'm your host, Olivia Salmons, and in each episode we'll uncover the stories behind impactful ventures, the challenges faced along the way, and the strategies driving their future growth. Today I'm excited to be joined by Helen Tebay, coach, mentor, and the founder of The Sales Lady, where she supports ambitious individuals in building confidence, clarity, and sustainability. Where she helps individuals in building confidence, clarity, and sustainable success without burnout. Helen's work focuses on self-leadership, mindset, and personal responsibility, helping people move out of self-doubt and into aligned action, especially during periods of growth or transition. Helen, welcome to Founders Future. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Oh, thank you, Olivia. Thank you so much. Really excited.
I'm really excited to have you here, and it's such a pleasure to really appreciate your time. So let's dive into this. With all of my guests, I do actually like to start at the beginning of their journey. So Helen, if you don't mind briefly taking me back to what it was you was doing before you started up The Sales Lady, and then from there, what was the motivation behind it?
Yeah, sure. I am actually my clients. When I first started off in the corporate world, if you will, I didn't really particularly engage very well with selling and sales. I didn't like it. It was the way it was taught out, always be closing, backing people up against a wall, just go and make the sales happen. We need the sales. It was very like us orientated, like organization orientated, and it just didn't feel good. So I did my best to avoid selling, and just look at us now. But I completely feel where people were at with their sales
Yeah.
journey. And I actually had a sales trainer that came in. She cringes when she hears this, so she's going to love this coming out to like the masses. But she came in, the company hired her, and she just changed my view of selling. And I thought, that's nice. Maybe I could do that one day. And then I went and continued my corporate journey, and we still work together now. She sometimes asks me to help support her and vice versa, and so it's just come
Oh,
full
beautiful.
circle back round. But before that I was in pharmaceuticals and engineering, so that was my background. So yeah, really intense, very sales heavy. And I just was in a board meeting one day and I just was like, I don't think I really want to do this anymore. And I wanted to go and make, if I was working that hard, I wanted something to be more impactful. I wanted to feel it more. And then the two just aligned. I was like, hang on a second, why don't I teach people how to sell really well and to fall back in love with it? Remember
Yeah.
what Joe did for me way back when? Why don't I do something like that? And so that's how we came to be here.
I love it. So a quick shout out to Joe for
Yeah,
putting that
Joe
like
Wilson
seed in
from,
place earlier on.
yeah,
Love
yeah,
it.
she's amazing, amazing. And there was a reason why our paths
I love
pathed
that.
way back
Yeah.
when.
No, I love that. And also, obviously, having a sales background myself, I do understand the pressures of it. One day is a big high, it's all going well, and then the next, it's still the same drive. Like you never stop. It's the same crunch every day. And for women, I feel like it's a much more intimidating place to be in, especially corporate sales compared to like male counterparts. It is a lot more of a, I don't know the right word to even describe it, but a lot more of a sensitive subject for us to tend to bring up and want to push people into that place that they're maybe not comfortable doing so. So let's dive into the sales lady a little bit more then. So walk me through at this point, who would you say is your like ideal customer? Who do you love to work with? And then from there, how is you help them and how do you support them along that journey?
Yeah, sure. So my ideal people I love working with, I'm not so much sector specific, so it doesn't have to be a particular sector, but I do tend to get on quite well with people who are very technical. They have
Mm.
the biggest shift when they're in the weeds of the technicality. So people in finance, HR, any kind of techie like world, I do get on really well with those kind of clients because they come up with the bottlenecks. They come up against the bottlenecks of being able
Yeah.
to explain and articulate what their offer is, what results. They get right into the weeds and we lose the client in that aspect. So that's who I love to help. And it tends to be people that are like coaches, consultants, anybody that's got that expertise. They just haven't quite worked out how to sell and market that expertise, and they've fallen out of love with it. They've got so much expertise to share and help so many people, but they haven't quite worked out the areas to how they can market best. They're burnt out, they're going out trying all the different things, and it's just not chiming, it's not turning into the revenue that they'd hoped for. And it's just spitting people out, churning them up, they're spinning wheels, they don't like it. Sales and marketing becomes the most hated part of their business, and that just honestly makes me sad inside. And one of the results that I always get in various different formats is at the end of working with people, usually it's over a 6 month period, sometimes 12, but they always say, oh, it's not as bad as what I thought, or I dare I say, I actually quite enjoy it. So like, we literally like using my own experience of where I was like, I hated selling, then I got into sales a little bit more. Then I was like, do you know what? I'm really burnt out by this because the desire of why I'm doing this just isn't strong enough.
Yeah.
But going and helping people to do that's amazing. So getting people locked back in love with what it is that they actually want to sell and just seeing how they can make more money than what they are like currently
Yeah.
sitting with, where the gap is, what needs to change. And it's always usually like the offering, the marketing, the selling, and then the huge thing that sits underneath all of that is what you're thinking and feeling about everything. That's the reason why we don't have what we want already. It's just a whole bunch of thinking in the way. So I really like to work with people who are super motivated, they're action takers, they're not afraid to take the action, they're going to invest in their business, and they're just like, I know I've got all the moving parts, I just need someone to help me make sense of this and give me a pathway to move forward.
I love that. And yeah, and as you say, like they have their zone of brilliance. They know what they're very good at. And often when you do move into entrepreneurship or even as a coach, that operation side of it, sales, marketing, as much as it, yeah, I love it. I can understand if you've never done it before, how hard that must be coming into that world and trying to really hone in those skills while you are growing a business and obviously wanting to help people with the service you're providing as well. So helping them fall back in love with sales or fall in love with sales to start with is a really fulfilling, must be a really fulfilling circle for you. And what is it like to work with you then, Helen? So you mentioned there obviously one-to-one is on like a 6 to 12 months, depending on that. But I'm
Mhm.
assuming pretty custom depending on where the person is when they meet you and the whole process and everything around that as well.
Yeah, just give me the question again. Sorry, Olivia.
What is it like to work with you? So for
What's it
example,
like?
at the time.
Yeah, what's it like to work with me? My goodness. I've actually just had someone help me to capture some of the testimonials. And so I get them like in the finished
Yeah.
offering, and I also see the raw offering as well. And and the things that I always I knew this was the case, but to hear it from people is just it just warms my heart. But I think for me, I don't let people off the hook. And I don't mean that in a like
Okay.
nasty way, but the most help I can give you is where you're not wanting to go and look, because that's where the result is. That's what the work is that's needed. So just lovingly and with empathy, giving you a really like positive shove in a direction. And I would say I don't let you off the hook. What keeps coming back from these feedback is I really care. If you want someone that's got belief, I always think I say this to people. I remember someone saying this to me and I cried, and I've had people cry when I've said this to them. But if your belief is just low at the moment in your belief that you can make more money, that you can be a successful business owner, whatever that is, you borrow some of mine. Like I have belief times 10 for you, and that's essentially what you're buying. So every session, when people come to me and they're like, what a pickle, we got this going on, what a problem. I'm like, it's not. It just isn't. I know that you have the solution. You're just telling yourself you're stuck. And so most of the sessions getting you to see where you're back in control. When you're back in control, you can see way more opportunity and possibility. The next steps just become so much easier to take. So I would say I'm not harsh in the respect that I don't care. I care deeply to the point I'll go places where most coaches probably haven't gone with you. And that's what's going to get you the result.
Yeah, I love that. So really stepping the line of where motivation ends and just being there for them the whole time. I really like the way you put it as well. Obviously borrowing my belief, which is a really lively way to put it because if someone else believes in you, it's a whole lot easier to believe in yourself along the way. So really nice that you pushed them that far. And Helen, I do want to get into the nuts and bolts a little bit of the business as well. So like when it comes to marketing, like what is working well for you at the moment? Like what methods, what channels are you finding
Yeah.
most effective in really finding that
So
right person to work with?
yeah, so for me, it's never so much the channel, it's always what you think about it. And so you could pick
Mm.
any channel. People tell me LinkedIn's dead. I've made all my money from LinkedIn, continue making money from LinkedIn. I do a lot of networking. I've got some clients that don't do any networking whatsoever. So
Yeah.
wherever you choose to go, it's just about The thing that creates clients and revenue is always you putting your brain in the most valuable place while you're there. And it's not in your own head. It's not worrying about what will people think. Is my hair greasy? Oh, what if they reject me? What if they say this? What if they say that? It's none of that stuff. It's all about how can I become valuable? What do I want to be known for? When someone sees something from me, like a post, an email, an invite to a webinar or a teaching that I've got or a group program or anything, I want their first thought to be, God, gives really actionable stuff. This is worth my time in getting involved in this. And so that's what I want to simplify it down, and I want to give the value in a usable format. If you can get your brain to a point where say you're wanting to make 10K months, how can you make each piece of content deliver 10K's worth of value to the consumer? Like when you put yourself there, you can be on Instagram, TikTok, you can do 60-second reels. I do like sometimes 7-8 minute micro teaches on LinkedIn, and people are like, it doesn't work, but it does. I get known for that. And that's what lodges in people's brains that they're like, this is a valuable use of my time to spend more time with this person. Getting known for the result that you want to deliver and making sure you're like a walking, talking value machine for it,
Yeah.
like an advert for it. You can do that on any platform, anywhere. I have one client that doesn't have any social media whatsoever. Now, I do think she's missing a trick there, but she's earning 6 figures. She's not on LinkedIn or any platform. So it's a really good example. It's not the mechanism, it's what you think about it, it's what you think about an audience. So your thinking will dictate it, and how much value you can get out in a consistent way is what's going to shift the dial. And then how can you make that value so usable that it impacts people where they could
Yeah.
literally go and save themselves money to the tune of, and then insert your revenue goal. If you want to make 10K months, 20K months, 40K months, like how can you go and make that content give or compound out
Yeah.
that amount of value? So that's
Yeah, I
what's
love
working.
Amazing. And as you say, it can be applied anywhere. You just have to put that knowledge base to any kind of platform and then run for the hills from that. For example,
Yeah.
yours is LinkedIn. I have nightmares with LinkedIn, so I can understand. But in the terms of Instagram, Facebook is where we find a lot of success. So it is, as you say, very heavy on the knowledge, making sure people understand, recognize that, and can see pain
Yeah.
and is a sense and a word to use, but they see something in that and get something from there. Do you run
Yeah.
any form
They
of like
resonate.
that's the right word, resonate. Do you run any form of like ad campaigns or do you push ads across social media or is it very organic on that front as
So at the
well?
moment, it's 100% organic. I have tried ads before. I have had some success with ads. I just don't vibe with it as well. I don't have as good a thinking about
Yeah,
it. I almost lose that connection level. So for
interesting.
me, I prefer to not do it to the masses yet. I have done it. I have had success with it. I see a lot of people where it falls down is they'll rush out to outsource it because they don't want to
Mm,
do the thinking. But to make a successful ad campaign, you really need to have organic sales first. You need to know all that language, the pain points, but like the symptoms of that. What have they
mm,
tried before? Why has that not worked? What do they want more than anything? How do they describe all that? And when you're
yeah,
resisting the effort and work needed to find that out, which is good old fashioned like conversations and finding out that information, you can put an ad campaign out and it'll just fall flat because it's missing the fundamental ingredient, which is the attrition back from your audience. It's what they think. They've got to see themselves in what you're saying. So if you haven't done that work already and you're just wanting to like silver bullet syndrome, let's just get some ads out that will other people see success in ads. It doesn't always work effectively when you haven't learned how to bring sales in organically. All you're going to do is scale out the disappointment, because if it's not working here, ads is like a scale. What you can do to scale, do it at mass. So all you're going to do is whatever's happening here, we're going to do that times 100, 1,000 over there. So I
yeah,
see people rushing as if it's the answer, the be all and end all, and I see them outsourcing it to it and delegating the effort to that instead of putting the effort into why are people not stepping forward already? What is it that
yeah,
needs? So it's got its place. It's great if you're already making some sales. It's really good to have a look at it then. But if you're doing it for the wrong reasons, because I don't want to think because it's effort here, I know what, I'll just get some ads and run an ad campaign. I see that just burning and churning. People get so disappointed. And then they're like, yeah, ads don't work. I'm like, they just don't work for your stage of business. That's
yeah, I agree.
different.
No,
Yeah,
it's
what?
true. And a lot of people do jump into that because they think ads equals marketing. But it's not
Mm,
marketing. Ads is to enhance marketing, literally, as you're saying there. It's just to make the marketing
yeah.
better, reach other people. And yeah, the effort, it helps with the consistency in lead flow, which is amazing. But you have to have a product there to be consistent to start with.
You've got to have something that's validated first.
Literally.
That's the best way I can describe
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
And like even to go with what you're saying, when people like outsource to marketing agencies, they outsource, they have no idea what's going on. They just pay a monthly figure, they get their bills back at the end of the month and wonder why they haven't made any money. It's because you've literally outsourced it without even knowing the steps, the principles yourself, or even the people you're working with. So
Yeah.
yeah, I fully on board with that. And then Helen, are you like a solopreneur still at the moment as well? Or do you have a team that help you
So
with the back end of
I
things?
do have a team behind me. They are on a contract basis, so they're not employed like on a payroll, but I do see them as my team, and they don't know it yet. Maybe they'll know it by the time this comes out, but we're going to have our first team meeting. We're going to get everyone together and we're going to do a strategy day. And so I'm ever so grateful. They're all amazing people, and I've had to get myself in the place. And I think you go through this in stages of business. Early days, first couple of years, there's like an excitement in learning how to navigate stuff and do things. I'll spend 6 hours looking at something on YouTube and, oh, I can do it now. It's amazing. You've got the time to do it and the energy, and it's exciting. When you start seeing what actually makes you money and you're in then the throes of making money and delivering, whether it's done for you or with you, however you discharge your work, but you've not got as much time. And
Yeah.
so sometimes, whilst it can be exciting to learn, there's definitely your brain again is more valuable in a different space. For me, I could start to learn how to do Canva, I could learn how to do TikTok, but it's not where my heart is. And so it's much easier for me to pay someone who's got that skill set and that desire and that passion and bring them into, can I buy a portion of that and bring that into my business? They're just better skilled, they're faster, they're quicker, and it doesn't serve me to spend the same amount of time learning how to do stuff. So you end up, I see it in years 3 and 4, where you like come out the other side of that and you're like, actually, I need my time for something else. That my brain is more valuable for me here, and their brains are like super valuable in their area of genius, and I acknowledge that, and I want that in my business. That's where I think someone can do it better than you. We're not very good at entrepreneurs as admitting of that. Like we don't want to admit that at all, but they are better than us at that stuff, at their zone of genius. Let them do that. That's where they excel, and that's where they can be so much more valuable to your business than you trying to do it yourself. So as soon as you hit a bottleneck, you either try and get through it, like delegate it, and then it might be a really good sign that like somebody needs to come in and help with this in whatever context that is.
100%. I couldn't have said it better myself. And it is keeping people in their zone of brilliance, much like what we were talking about earlier with helping with sales coaching or marketing. It's wherever you feel more comfortable in your business is where you need to be 99% of the time. And that does come from delegation, but finding that people that really have the same vision and the same alignment with you, it is only going to be cause for success moving forward. And
Yeah.
then Helen, like what do the next 6 to 12 months have in store for you as well as you like think of scaling or growing the business yourself? Do you have an end goal in mind or a vision when you think of that moving forward?
Yeah, so I didn't have this originally, and I know I've thought, oh, maybe I'm not a strong enough business owner because I don't have this like obsession and desire with it like other people do. But what I've realized, it has actually grown on me,
Okay.
and I am actually getting quite passionate about this. But I've got a group program called the Sales Refresh, which I absolutely love, but I want that to become like a mastermind, and then I want a sales academy where we can teach sales skills on a worldwide basis. That would excite the pants off me. That would be absolutely like my dream. Have coaches and those key support people that can help with all the different facets, accountancy, tech, marketing, all these skill people that are going to come in. I'm going to pay for their time, and we're going to have our team in the academy that's then going to be doing that on like a global basis. So that's where we're going. We're going for global domination.
I love
But we'll
it.
start off with like my group program, which I already feel like we've got people in from all around the world, so we're already doing
Love
it.
it. Yeah. No, why not? And that's such the amazing thing with the global, like with the modern era at the moment, with the digital age, is world domination is very easy. You can start
You
based
can
in the
do it.
UK and take over America before you've even conquered your own country. So it's there and it's possible, and that's such a cool vision to have. So, like in terms of getting that ball rolling and setting up, where are you finding that biggest challenge for yourself in taking that next step?
Yeah, I've just hired someone to help me with this, but with the systems and the processes and the tech, because what, again, another problem I see with business owners, and I acknowledge it in myself, is if you don't sort your bottlenecks out when you scale, you will scale out the good stuff, but you'll also scale out the bottlenecks and they will get really impactful. You'll feel them more and they will become restrictive. So I have spent a little bit of time and money on my processes and systems, but I'm completely aware that that needs to change if we're going to do that on that level. So I've hired people that I know can take me there. And it's also about getting processes and systems behind the scenes. Again, wherever we resist, that's where the work's needed. I've resisted processes and systems for about 3 years. Now I'm all in on that. So that's the first thing. And the second thing is continuing to upskill, and that's nuanced, but to upskill, to learn how to get in 10 people into my world or 20 people in. How can we get hundreds of people in? So that's the next level of scale with that. So
Yeah, I
looking
love
at the
it.
lead generation, and then there's no point in bringing all them people to a bunch of chaos. So we need to make sure that we can onboard that without it breaking us.
Yeah, fully. And even as you said, like a lot of people are too scared to bring people on because of the money that it takes, or as you say, work on the processes and systems because they have to invest money into that. But the point of that is it is an investment into a business. So as long as you're going to move forward and you can see the vision, people need to take that first step all the time. That mindset shift is such a big one. And then
Yeah.
again, it's just such a cool prospect to think of growing and moving forward. When it comes to scaling a business, what would you say is the best piece of advice that you've ever received?
It was that whole thing around do it before you feel ready because you'll never feel ready. Be prepared to see different figures in your bank account. Your bank account might have to dip out to levels that you've never seen before, but when you pay the money over here, that's going to help you make so much more money. And that's the thought that you want when you're looking at your investment. Is this going to get me closer to the goal?
Yeah.
Is this going to make me more money? How fast is that going to happen? So that's what I would say, and it goes back to that. If you don't look at the bottlenecks, they are going to scale with you. So you might as well look at them while you don't need to, while your back's not up against the wall. Because if you scale and you don't look at all those things, it's going to hurt you tenfold. I'm like, why
Yeah.
do that? Why do that to yourself?
Yeah.
I'm all about making it easier for everyone, not harder. So do it before you need to do it. Be prepared for that to look different, i.e., money in the bank, it to feel different. It's not going to feel comfortable at all. And don't feel like I'll wait until I'm ready. I need more XYZ before I do it. It's just a smokescreen. Like you need to do it now. Now's the time.
Yeah.
When you
I
had the
love it.
idea, is the time to do it. Not that I had the idea, then I talked myself out of it. Don't do
Often when you
that.
have, yeah, often when people have the idea as well, they're always a little bit too late. So it is that I'm not going to have the
Yeah.
idea and plan it. Just go and do it. Like as soon as you think of it, just
Yes.
start and take it from there.
Yeah.
Helen, I have one final question to ask you before we log out. So if you could go back in time to a younger self and you could only leave yourself with one piece of advice moving forward, something you know now, but that you didn't know back then, what would you say to yourself?
Oh God, what a question. Oh my God. I have this on my desk actually. Oh, where's she going? I don't know. Ah! I have a little picture of me. I can't find her now. And it just, I found it in something and I thought I don't want to lose it. It's a little picture of me at 4 years old. And sometimes I get her out and put her down like here in front of me. And I'm like, what would you go back and say to that person? Because I am her. And I think just trust in yourself. When you think like other people can do that, other people can make the money, but I can't, like, why not? Why do you feel like you don't deserve that? So just say yes to more stuff and trust that it's going to work out instead of micromanaging like the how and being so like I am only going to do it if I know it's going to work. Well, then why are we going in with
So
that
true.
energy? Like you're only half in, half out. What if you just went all in and trusted yourself that you would be all right even if it didn't work out as you planned? You're always going to be okay. That's the thing.
It's like the basic rule of life, isn't it? No one knows what they're
Yeah.
doing, and we don't
No,
worry or
we haven't got
pre-plan
a
about
clue.
that. Just jump into it. I love it. And it's Helen, thank you so much for joining me today and for sharing your
Thank
incredible
you.
journey and insight with us. Where can our listeners reach out to connect with you or work with you if they would like to do?
Yeah, sure. Mainly on LinkedIn. I'm on there every single day, and that's Helen Tebay, sales lady. And if you're allergic to LinkedIn, I know you're going to say sacrilege. I'm not on the gram, Facebook, but I have a website which is www.helentebay.com, and you can go on there and you can see all my webinars. You can see, you can work with me, you can book time with me, you can join the mailing list, you can do everything from that.
Amazing. Perfect. And thank you again for joining us. And to our listeners, if you enjoyed this episode, please be sure to go and check out Helen, the sales lady, and all the amazing work that she's doing. And do not forget to subscribe to Founders Future by wherever you listen to your favourite podcasts. And if you are a business owner, specifically a coach, consultant, or agency owner, and you're really looking to scale your business and you want to enhance your sales and marketing efforts, visit closers.io to hop on a call with one of our team and discover how we went from $0 to $30 million per year in less than 3 years. But until then, keep on climbing, and we will see you on the next one.